Well, hey, it's me again, and this is another video as part of the 365-day challenge, where there's 2 videos a day, total of 730 videos. Because, you know, every day there's different battles and different obstacles. And this morning I went for my run, and I didn't take a phone, didn't take any music, didn't take anything to listen to. I just took myself, because I wanted to spend some time thinking about all the things that have really hit me yesterday, after talking with some great people who I'm part of a mastermind with, and some other people who I'm just friends with in some other areas. And one of the common threads that's been going on is a lot of people are battling with all the things that are coming at them. You know, there's this battle, and then there's this battle, and there's this problem at work, and there's this issues. And it's like after a while it all gets to weigh us down. And anybody that's ever built a business, or thought about building a business, or even tried to get into a team, or tried to do something better at work, or just try to get something happening in life, every single day there's always stuff that comes along which seems to be quite overbearing and quite negative. And one of the things I was sharing with some people on a call yesterday is one of the things that I do, which is basically this. I basically get a brick, and this is half a brick, but the purpose is I write down the things that are really starting to piss me off, that are really starting to weigh me down and frustrate me. And so, for instance, whether it's the bills or an overdue something, or just something that's really irritating me, and I get a texture and I write it on the brick. And obviously on the brick it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, okay? So after a while I get this brick, and I'll look at these things that are frustrating me, and quite often I'll just leave it sitting in the garden, or I'll have one in my office. And I won't let these things hold me back anymore. I'll look at them and I go, you know, damn you, this is not going to be something that's going to weigh me down. It's not going to be something that's going to drown me. It's not going to be something that other people's opinions are going to use to hold me back. So I'll write it on the brick, and then I will throw that sucker as hard as I can, as far as I can, just to make me get that energy burst out. Because if we don't, all that negativity just sits inside and holds us back. So by lobbing this brick, by putting those things on there, just with a texter or a pencil, that are pissing me off, that are holding me back, that are frustrating me, and I feel like I can't do anything about, I actually can get this massive chemical release that just makes me feel so much better. And it's like, no, you're not going to hold me back. These things are just things. They're just people's opinions, or they're just circumstances that I can't necessarily change today, but I can make an impact by doing one thing on these things today. So for instance, you know, I've got this huge account that we have to take care of, we have to pay. It'd be so much easier to just go and write that check, but I know the money's just not there to write that particular check. So how do I write that check if the money's not there? I can moan about it, I can cry about it, I can complain about it, or I can actually do something to put the actions in place so the money does come rolling in. So I can either believe in that, or I can think that it's not going to happen, woe is me, it's so frustrating, there's nothing I can do. That doesn't work. That actually doesn't fix anything. So I put it on the brick, and I throw that sucker. And you know, the best part about that is when you realize that we're back in control, that we can control the circumstances that we're in by changing situations by the actions we take. That really gives me a sense of freedom, really gives me a sense of believability and what I can achieve. And on this morning's run, I was just thinking about a friend of mine, Cara, who's built this amazing business, and then she's hit a wall. And the problem with hitting that wall is she feels isolated, she feels alone, she feels like people around her don't understand her. And it can get quite depressing. And it made me think, when I was talking to someone else yesterday, about all of their business woes and their frustrations and all the emails and the debts and the bills and the legal stuff that's going on. It's like, really? Why are so many people trying to pull them down? And both of these women are amazing women, and Tracy in particular, you know, is held up by limiting belief. And there's another friend of mine, Michelle, who was just weighed down by all these things put upon them by other people. So when we free ourselves up, when we realize we can't change other people, but we can change ourselves, the way we look at things and the way we can turn the channel or change the channel, and how we can get a new perspective on a situation, the same as if we were talking to somebody else and they would simply come at it from a different angle. It's like, oh, I never thought of it that way before. Which again reminds me of the brick. You see, we may see the brick or the problem from one angle, but if we then turn the brick, there's all different angles that we can see the same perspective, the same problem from. There's all different perspectives, and so each perspective is just a different opinion, different way of looking at something. So the brick, to me, there's a lot of things. It enables me to free myself up from the frustration. It enables me to write it down as a word so I can physically see it, and then I can identify with it myself and say, this is not going to hold me back. And I physically throw it to free me up from that anguish. And listening to these other ladies talk about the problems that they're going through as well, it can be a lonely road. So I wonder today, how many times have you said something, or do you say something to other people that actually weighs down their brick, as opposed to lifting up their brick, taking the burden off of them? Because quite often we'll say things, and I'm guilty of this the same with my own kids and people around me, where I'll say something in jest or in joking, or without really thinking about its consequences, and it really takes them down just another level. And that's not my intention, but I've realised now that I need to lift people up, not hold people back. And so I wonder, you know, what happens today? What do we each say to other people that has an impact different than what we were thinking? So that's my challenge today. My challenge for me, my challenge for you is to, before we go and say something, is our comment going to help someone and lift them up, or are we going to weigh them down? I think that's our role. Everyone's role is to lift other people up. And be careful what we say, and don't give them anything to write on their brick that they want to throw away, but instead just encourage them. So my name's Scott Anthony. This is one of my videos as part of the 7:30 challenge, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope that if you're struggling with some stuff, realise it's okay, because we're all struggling with stuff, and it's just a case of making the decision, just one decision, to change circumstances by doing one thing today. Have a brilliant day. That's me checking out, and I've got a massive day ahead, and I can't wait to get started.